from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
And a very warm welcome to the national news broadcast of Rupavahini. I'm Lanka Ananda. Joining me is Chaita Minipurarachi. And these are the top stories which have made headlines for tonight. Ups and downs in the air pollution condition. Mandal cyclone enters India, but its intensity decreases. World financial heads and China engage in fruitful discussions over Sri Lankan debt restructuring process. The government is to extend assistance to enhance the quality of education in the Colombo University. 19 local bird species on the verge of extinction. A declaration by the Reverend Cardinal says the reason for the current crisis is the dying of conscience of the nation. An ATM machine in India which gives gold coins instead of currency notes. Now for those and other stories in detail, and on your top story, the harmful air pollution condition affecting many cities in the island, including the city of Colombo, appeared to be fluctuating by this afternoon.
According to the air pollution index installed at the US Embassy in Colombo, the air pollution in the city of Colombo was at 117 points by 4:00 p.m. today. The dusty smoke emanating from the northern region of the Indian subcontinent has contributed to the escalating of air pollution in Sri Lanka since the 7th of this month. However, meteorologists have observed winds blowing across the island in a different pattern than the usual method by today. Although the Colombo Air Quality Index has been lowered by 99% to around 2 p.m. today, it has been again shot up by 117 by 3 p.m. and by 4 p.m. This afternoon, the air pollution in Gampaha and Kandy towns has been recorded the figures of 160 and 157 respectively. The air quality index in Jaffna has recorded the figure of 132 and it was 110 and 105 in Dambulla and Ratnapura respectively. Negombo has reached a figure of 88, and meanwhile the National Building and Research Organization says the harmful condition is gradually receding due to the pushing of the smoky condition into the interior of India by the Mandal cyclone in the Bay of Bengal. And meanwhile, the Mandal cyclone in the southwestern part of the Bay of Bengal was reported to have entered Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh over the coast this morning.
The atmospheric disturbance is appearing to be weakening gradually, and the Department of Meteorology forecast that its impact on the coastal areas would reduce. Deputy Director Climatic Forecasting of the Department of Meteorology, Mariel Mendes, said that they are anticipating that the impact on the Sri Lankan weather by the cyclonic condition would be greatly minimized by tomorrow. In the past few days, the Sri Lankan skyline remained cloudy and winds flowing from the direction of Indian subcontinent entered Sri Lankan airspace. The Deputy Director General added that, however, now the wind flow is on a westerly direction. He further said that there is no possibility of having an acid rain condition. Many low-lying lands in Vaunia have been inundated. These scenes depict how rainwater has got into the paddy fields, destroying the Maha season cultivation. Potato farming in Valimada, Uwaparanagama, Boralanda and Kappitipola were also severely affected by strong winds. You are now watching how around 150 acres of China cultivations in the Central Highlands, where many crops including beans, tomatoes, onions and green beans have been destroyed. The inclement weather condition has also adversely affected many areas in the eastern province. Our correspondent has reported that nearly 500 cattle have been killed due to extreme cold weather. The animals were allowed to be perished by setting them to roam freely in the forest without providing the minimum facilities. Governor of the province has ordered the relevant authorities to warm up the remaining beasts by putting them in the cattle sheds with the relevant facilities. Meanwhile, the President has instructed to immediately stop transportation of beef and mutton on district and provincial level. The communique issued by the Office of the President says the emergency measures have been taken by taking into consideration on the protection of health of the general public. Hundreds of cattle and goat were killed due to bad weather condition in the northern province as well. The road near the Veerakungama bridge on the Kalupahana-Bamarakanda road was blocked due to the falling of a massive rock in Udavaria. Sea off the coast of Myanmar has turned extremely rough. Fishermen, sea sailors are rushing into the inland. A heavy foggy condition continues to prevail in many locations in the central highlands. The prevailing extreme cold weather condition has still not subsided. Meanwhile, the Disaster Management Centre says around 2,000 houses have been damaged due to the inclement weather situation. The procedures of warning the general public, including the fisheries, naval sectors, including not activation of the pre-danger warning methodology.
In the northern province and the eastern province as well. And the cyclonic storm currently at Indian premises, and the effects been hit around the country. More than 16 districts, around 16 districts been affected, and house damage has been recorded partially. Especially more than 2,000 houses been partially damaged. All these houses been assessed, and the compensations will be soon given to the affected people. And the district disaster management units and the district officials and the National Disaster Relief Services with the Disaster Management Centre is coordinating all these process until the relief is completed. At the beginning, we have provided the early warning to the vulnerable communities, especially for the sea areas from Mana to Potuvil via Kankasanture, and we stopped all the fishing activities through the fisheries department. We also always observing the situations and providing the early warning, and the military and the police being informed and taken actions and for the standby with all the disaster search and rescue equipments for upcoming all the disaster situations since the beginning of this situation. The 117 call center is completely open, and also the trying languages could be managed, and also that's running on 24/7 basis. Still, we are requesting all the general public to contact 117 call center to all the disaster management activities and the response activities as well as the coordination activities as well. And we hope this situation is over right now, but still the rain is expected. But people are advised to be vigilant with the situation, especially for taking all the precautions to minimize the lightning activities, and also the high wind situations being recorded in 16 districts in the country. And still we are thoroughly monitoring the situations with the government officials and responding to all the response activities as well as the relief activities as well.
Indian media reports 4 persons have been killed due to the Mandos cyclone. Tamil Nadu Department of Meteorology has reported this morning that the cyclone has fully entered India. The southern coastal line in Andhra Pradesh and Rayalaseema region are experiencing heavy rainfall. As a result, power supply to 600 houses has been disconnected. Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu says that 300 families have been most affected due to not having electricity. The Indian Meteorological Authority predicts that depression may gradually decrease into a low-pressure situation by tomorrow.
And on the same note, air quality in the Indian capital city New Delhi showed slight improvements today, but it was still recorded in the poor category as reported by the India Met Department.
Smoke billows from the fields of northern India as farmers burn remnants of their crops.
The air quality of Mumbai city has become worse than that of Delhi, and as per the system of air quality and weather forecasting and research, the overall air quality of the maximum city was in a very poor category with the index at 309 on this morning. Meanwhile, the overall air quality of Delhi was in a poor category with the index at 249. Mumbai's air quality has depleted massively in the last few days. The air quality index in Mumbai has been in very poor category for the last few days. As the city's air became a close for the concern, doctors advise people to take precautions like wearing masks, especially those who have respiratory illnesses. Health experts suggested that with respiratory or cardiovascular illnesses should be cautious. They should be high efficiently masks such as N95 or K95 masks when using outdoors. Unless important, such people should avoid going out till time air quality improves, and the doctors also suggest changing masks frequently as high pollution can cause clogging of the masks, and masking is difficult to breathe.
By 2021, diesel fuel here will meet European standards. The government has also promised to shut.
Now, the directress of the International Monetary Fund, Christine Lageorgieva, says effective discussions have been conducted with China regarding the debt restructuring program of Sri Lanka. The IMF chief has requested China to expedite the process of granting relief to the island. Heads of 6 global financial institutions, including the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, the World Trade Organization and Asian Development Bank, have conducted talks with the Chinese Prime Minister Li Qiang yesterday and today with the Yunnan province in eastern China. The aim of the talks was to consolidate global unity in the face of present economic challenges. The situation in Sri Lanka has become a main topic of the discussion. Heads of the IMF have requested China on this occasion to immediately take necessary measures to overcome the economic crises in Sri Lanka and Zambia. The IMF chiefs have further stated that China have responded positively to their request. Heads of IMF Kristalina Georgieva and World Bank Director David Malpass were among those who have attended the negotiations. These officials were engaged in separate discussions as well as with the Chinese Prime Minister. China has reiterated earlier as well it will extend fullest cooperation to the Sri Lanka's debt restructuring program. China was also of the view that a proper program should be formulated in this connection. China, Japan and Asian Development Bank are among the top creditors of Sri Lanka.
And meanwhile, residents charge that massive environmental degradation is taking place in the Nirupala field in Hanwell. Nirupala is regarded as the historical location where Levke Disava in recent history fought with the English forces. Today, the ancient land has turned into a playground of racketeers of soil and sand. A person was reported to have purchased a land permit to commence a freshwater fish business at this location, and the residents say that this person is now causing severe environmental destruction using backhoe machines. Wakhoya, a tributary of the Kalani River, flows around the territory. Acts of the racketeers have also caused harmful impact on the waterway as well.
Now, President Ranil Wickremesinghe says that the unstinted cooperation of the government will be extended for the enhancement of qualitative educational system in the Colombo University, including its Faculty of Law.
The President has expressed these observations participating in a program conducted in connection with the 75th anniversary of the Law Faculty of the University of Colombo today. The program, titled Back to Faculty of Law, was held at the office of the Dean of the Faculty of Law of the University of Colombo. President Ranil Wickremesinghe is the first lawmaker who has been appointed to the post of Executive President of Sri Lanka from the Faculty of Law of the University of Colombo. He has instructed university authorities to prepare a program for the recruitment of permanent staff for a postgraduate institute to be established with the objective of upgrading the quality of university education. President Wickremesinghe has added the attention should be focused to elevate the status of the Colombo University among the best universities in the world by enhancing quality of education rather than giving prominence for the development of infrastructure facilities. He has further pointed out that if the university is being able to fulfill this objective, more opportunities would arise to bring foreign students to Sri Lanka. The President has further recalled that in the recent past, when there were less facilities than at present, the quality of education in the Faculty of Law at the Colombo University was at a higher level. President Ranil Wickremesinghe has also inquired on the progress of the plan to construct the engineering faculty of the university. The authorities have pointed out that an extent of 4 acres of land has been assigned for these purposes. Vice Chancellor of the university, Professor H.D. Karunaratne, Dean of the Faculty of Law, Professor Sampath Punchiheva, and parliamentarians who are past students of the faculty, as well as nearly 1,000 law students, have attended the ceremony.
Now, this is the story of a noble organization which upholds the belief that nobody should die from a heart disease due to lack of money for treatment. People in Sri Lanka, including heart patients, have an unpleasant experience over deaths due to heart ailments as a result of high medical costs and absence of experienced medical professionals. Some of us are aware how desperate patients see death due to their inability to perform surgeries through free health services. Some of them are begging on the streets, urging for money for operations. However, the lives of such persons end in tragic death. It was under such circumstances that specialist physician of the Jayawardhanapura Hospital, Dr. Ranjita De Silva, has introduced the concept of creating the heart-to-heart organization. Specialist physician Dr. Ruan Ekanayaka and Dr. Aruna Kapurage were joining them in these initiatives. The 8th anniversary of the Hadata Hadak Fund was held at the Jayawardenepur Hospital recently with the participation of a majority of patients who survived due to heart surgery. Clergymen and the hospital staff have also attended the event. Any benevolent patron could contribute to the Hadata Hadak life-giving program. Doors in foreign medical channels remain open for many heart patients living in mansions. However, Hadata Hadak Fund always look into the plight of heart patients suffering in the streets due to not being able to receive the benefits of free health service in the country. Now, the Ministry of Environment says 19 special bird species in the island are facing the threat of extinction.
The disclosure has been made according to the updated National Red Data document on the state of conservation of Sri Lankan birds. The National Red Data list has been formulated by taking into consideration of the internal and external facts affecting the living species. The document prepared by the Ministry of Environment has revealed that 81 out of the 224 special species of birds are being subjected to extinction. 19 of them are in the critical list of extinction. The government is extending fullest assistance to conserve the environment and restore the population of the birds under threat of elimination. Accordingly, the measures will be taken to protect the forest resources. It has also been pointed out that according to an estimation conducted in the year 2012 has found that many bird species were on the verge of perishing. However, it has now been observed that there has been a 6-point recovery in certain bird species mentioned in the estimate. Stay tuned for more stories after this break.
Welcome back on More News from Home. General Secretary of the United National Party, Palitharanga Bandara, says unpopular decisions will have to be taken in order to resurrect the country's economy.
He further says that the president is always taking not so popular decisions and however disadvantages them to have politically. Palitharanga Bandara was responding to opinions expressed over the statement made by the president in Parliament recently. President Ranil Wickremesinghe said that nobody is like to see the price increase. The president further said that they are well aware of the difficulties being experienced by the general public. He also said that the alternatives available into unpopular decisions which would ultimately brighten the future of the country. He further said that they have been elevated the current status due to taking unpopular measures.
General Secretary of the UNP, Palitharanga Bandara, said that President Ranil Wickremesinghe was compelled to take over a country which was in the abyss of economic deterioration. The unfortunate situation has arisen due to erroneous management procedures taken in the recent past. There is no magical formula to bring back the country into normal level. Unpopular decisions will have to be taken to bring the foreign economy to its feet again. Short-term remedies may not help that match.
And meanwhile, Most Reverend Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit says that the death of the consolence of the heart of the nation is a reason for the prevailing situation in the country.
Disposal of religious education from schools is the major contributing factor to the crisis. His Eminence was addressing a ceremony at St. Peter's College, Kurana, Negombo.
There is no meaning in an education which does not form the human being to choose between good and bad. That is what has happened to this country. This country is suffering political meddling in education from the 1960s. So all the political leaders from 1960 onwards are responsible for what has happened to this state, to this beautiful motherland of ours. We have to accept that. You remove religion from the schools. Now also they are thinking of doing that. We have seen in the new preparation of new textbooks, new timetables, they want to remove religion completely from the school. I challenge those educationists in the education department, ministry and the governments to evolve a better system for the moral and spiritual formation of our children than giving them a good spiritual formation. So there is no point in now asking, scolding this one and that one and the other one. We have to all accept that we have made a colossal blunder in the history of this country. Our culturedness, what we inherited from the past in this country with the religious education through the network of temples, network of churches, has been meddled with in a very bad way. Now today they are talking about legalizing casinos, legalizing cannabis, nightlife. Where is our civilization? Who are we Sri Lankans?
And meanwhile, a three-wheeler driver has died on the spot in a road accident at Kollipitia this morning. The three-wheeler has collided with a motor car and crashed into a nearby shop. The police say that 5 persons, including the driver of the motor car, was under the influence of liquor. There were 3 female passengers in the vehicle. 4 of the passengers in the motor car have fled, but one of the female passengers was assaulted by the onlookers.
Now, Sugat Ratnaik, a lecturer at the Foreign Language School of Yunnan University, China, has won the first place in the international competition called My Campus Story, hosted by China Daily. He earned news. India media reports its first ever gold automatic teller machine delivering gold coins at the click of a button in a country where gold is often seen as a safe and preferred investment.
Set up in the South Indian city of Hyderabad, the gold automatic teller machine dispenses gold coins that weigh anywhere between 0.5 and 100 grams. A 100-gram coin is worth around 7,000 United States dollars, making the need to hide your pin from whoever's waiting in the line behind you even more urgent. India, the world's second biggest gold consumer, 2/3 of the Indians' gold demand usually comes from the rural areas where jewelers in a traditional store of wealth. The gold ATM can store up to 5 kilograms of gold on a recent evening. Several customers lined up to build buy coins, inserting their credit cards into the machine, and they chosen to weigh the coins.
With its Artemis mission, NASA says that it wants to open up a new age of moon missions where we don't just send astronauts to the moon but also establish a base of operations on the moon and extraterrestrial outpost of the first one of the body outside of Earth.
In order to establish a base of operations on the moon, NASA first needs to start building things, and building things on the moon is a facility different from the building them on Earth. In line with its order of recent projects, NASA doesn't want to do everything itself, so it's increasingly partnering up with the commercial ventures that can aid the agency and enable to carry out the projects efficiently, said Nikki Wakesher, the director of the Technology, Nutrition and the NASA Space Technology Mission Directorate. He further said in order to explore other worlds, NASA needs to innovate new technologies adapted to those environments, and exploration needs ultimately. If NASA wants its Artemis program to be successful in such need other than the nest rockets and high-tech concepts, it needs robust, efficient infrastructure. This infrastructure must provide project from the both freezing temperatures and to be doubly resilient, with also being secure from the impact of micro-territories. Astronomers and engineers manning those beings will be needing of the land and only relate the materials from the Earth from time to time.
And that's all the news we have for tonight. Join us tomorrow at 8:50 p.m. for the very latest on Channel Eye. I'm Delanjali, together with Sharita, signing off. Good night.
Good night.